So good morning students, welcome back to ALPHORES e-learning classes. This is first year intermediate civics class. We are in 6th unit, that is rights and duties. In the last session we discussed about political rights. What are the political rights? Political rights are those rights which provide opportunity to the citizens to take part in the political affairs of the state or government. Then political rights will provide political consciousness or political knowledge among the citizens. So what are the important political rights? Right to vote, right to contest in the elections, right to hold public offices, right to criticize the government, right to petition. Clear? So right to vote is the first and foremost political right of the individual, because through right to vote we will participate in the political affairs of the state at first. Hence it is first and foremost political right of the individual. So right to vote is given to only adults, those who cross a certain age limit, that is 18 years in India. Clear? Second one is right to contest in the elections. This right provides the freedom to the individuals to contest in the elections and to become people's representatives. Clear? For that the government may prescribe certain qualifications. Example, citizenship, age. In some countries, education also. Through right to contest in the elections, individuals may directly participate in the affairs of the state. And third one is right to hold public offices. This right enables the individuals to become government employees or government authorities and enjoy the authority in dignified manner. In simple terms, this right provides the freedom to the individuals to hold various public offices and exercise the public authority or government authority in dignified manner. Clear? Here all are eligible for public offices irrespective of their status, whether they are poor or rich. Then right to petition. Through right to petition, people can represent their problems, needs, requirements to the government. Through right to petition, people could be able to found what solutions to their problems, and also government can know so what are the problems and what are the requirements of the people also. Through right to petition, individuals can bring their problems to notice of the government. Then right to criticize the government. So this right provides the freedom to the individuals to criticize the public policies and programs of the government which are against the people. As if people have the right to criticize the government, then the government or the state can vigilantly perform its duties. Yes, then government can know what are its mistakes, what are its mistakes. According to J.S. Mill, when there is a right to criticize the government to the people, then the government will behave properly. Clear? So these are some of important political rights of the individuals. So today I am going to explain human rights. As human rights. So what are the human rights? Almost all rights are human rights, but in general the rights which are enjoyed by the human beings are called as human rights. Clear? In other words, okay, what is meant by human rights? Human rights are the basic amenities required for the basic existence of the human beings. Clear? So it is one of the definition of the human rights. So what are the human rights? The human rights are the basic amenities required for basic existence of the human beings. It is a one definition. So human rights are the basic amenities as which are essential for basic existence of the human beings. Clear? For existence of the human beings, there must be certain basic amenities. Such basic amenities are called as human rights. Then one more definition. Human rights are defined as all those rights are essential for the protection and maintenance of dignity of individuals. Clear? So in other words, human rights are defined as all those rights are essential for the protection and maintenance of the dignity of the human beings or individuals. Clear? So it is a definition of human rights. Human rights are defined as what? All those rights which are essential for the protection and the maintenance of what? The dignity of the human beings. So it is a one more definition of the human rights. And then these rights are available to all the individuals without any discrimination. Clear? These rights are available to all the individuals irrespective of their caste, religion, region, gender, place of birth, etc. Clear? Hence, all governments are in democratic states have been putting efforts or taking appropriate steps for providing the human rights to their citizens. Clear? So all governments in democratic states have been taking appropriate steps for providing the human rights to its citizens. Clear? And coming to evolution of human rights. Evolution of human rights or the history of human rights. Evolution of human rights. Yes. Now at first the credit will be go to Greek rulers. Okay, in the matters of human rights. Clear na? So credit goes to Greek rulers because for first time the Greek rulers showed the interest on the human rights to their citizens. Clear? Hence the credit will be go to Greek rulers because for first time the Greek rulers showed the interest on the human rights to their citizens, and for first time they recognized the importance of the human rights. For first time the Greek rulers recognized the importance of the human rights, hence the credit will be go to Greek rulers. It is one thing. Then why they considered human rights human rights are important because they are very essential for the progress of the individuals and progress of the nation. Yes, human rights are very essential for the all-round development of the individuals as well as the progress of the nation. Hence, they recognized the importance of human rights. Clear? This is one thing. And in the modern period, for first time in 1215 AD, yes, the British Parliament passed one act with the name of Magna Carta. Magna Carta, yes, of England. So, England Parliament passed Magna Carta in 1215. Clear? So, Magna Carta of England was the first step in the realization of human rights. Clear? So, it was the first step in the realization of what? Human rights in 1215 AD. Because Magna Carta gave life to the freedoms and independence of the people of the England. As independence of the people of England. Clear? Hence, now it was considered as the first step towards the realization of human rights. Clear? It is about Magna Carta. In the olden days, in 1215, through Magna Carta, England is providing certain rights to their citizens. So later, some more international events or incidents which lead to the realization of human rights. So other things are after Magna Carta. So bloodless revolution. Bloodless revolution. It is also called as England Revolution or English Revolution. So which was take place in 1688. Second, American War of Independence. As American War of Independence. American War of Independence. So 1706. Then French Revolution. French Revolution 1789. As Magna Carta first one, second bloodless revolution, American War of Independence, French Revolution. So like these revolutions led to the creation of favorable conditions for the enjoyment of human rights. So along these revolutions, Russian Revolution also, Russian as Revolution 1917 also gave importance to the human rights. Clear? It is a one thing. And coming to another one, certain national and international laws and agreements supported and protected the human rights of the individuals. Clear? Certain national and international laws and agreements supported and protected the human rights of the individuals. Clear? And then UNO. It was established on 24th October 1945. Clear? So with the establishment of UNO, human rights got prominent place in the matters of human rights. Clear? So human rights got prominence place with the establishment of UNO on 24th October 1945. Clear? And on December 10th 1948, UNO General Assembly passed one declaration with the name of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. As Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Human Rights, in shortcut UDHR. Human Rights, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So it was passed by the General Assembly of UNO on 10th December 1948. And so we have been celebrating every December 10th as a World Human Rights Day. Clear? So here regarding human rights, so Universal Declaration of Human Rights was the first international document about human rights. Clear? So it was the first international document which includes certain human rights like civil, political, economic, social and cultural rights. Clear? Then in 1966, UNO General Assembly passed two covenants. Covenants means here agreements. So one is International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Civil and Political Rights. Then second one is International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights. So it is the second one, as both are came into force in 1966. Clear? So first covenant is what? International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. Second one is International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights. So both came into force from 1966. Through these covenants, UNO requested its member countries to take appropriate steps to provide human rights to their citizens. Accordingly, the member countries of the UNO gave assurance to the UNO to take appropriate steps to provide human rights to their citizens. Clear? So it is about the evolution of human rights. And coming to classification of human rights. So according to these two covenants, as we can divide the human rights into two categories. So before that, I am going to say the objectives of human rights. First of all, objectives of human rights. As objectives of human rights. So what are the important objectives of human rights? So first one is freedom from fear. Then freedom from poverty. Yes, freedom from injustice. Then freedom of associations. Freedom of associations. Then freedom of protection. Freedom of protection. Then freedom against exploitation, etc. Clear? So these are some of important objectives of the human rights, as freedom from fear, freedom from poverty, freedom from injustice, freedom of associations, freedom of protection, freedom against exploitation. So these are some of important objectives of the human rights. Then coming to classification of human rights. Classification of human rights. So according to international covenants, human rights are broadly classified into two categories. So first category is First category is civil and political rights. Civil and political rights. Whereas second one is economic, social and cultural rights. Cultural rights. So now first one is civil rights. Yes, civil rights includes certain rights like right to life, right to liberty, right to family, right to associations, right to equality, right to property. As already we studied about various civil rights. Clear? They are civil rights. Clear? Once again, right to life, right to life, right to life, then right to liberty, then right to equality, right to equality, then right to property, next right to associations, right to associations, then right to contract, etc. As already we studied about various types of rights. These are civil rights: right to life, right to liberty, right to equality, right to property, right to associations, right to contract, etc. And coming to what are the political rights? What are the political rights? Political rights. Right to vote. Right to vote. Second, right to contest in the elections as candidate. As right to contest in the elections. In the elections. Then right to hold public offices. Right to hold public offices. Then right to criticize the government. Right to criticize the government. Then right to petition. Right to petition. These are the political rights. Political rights includes right to vote, right to contest in the elections, right to hold public offices, right to criticize the government, and right to petition. Then civil rights also include certain civil freedoms also, like freedom of speech, expression, assembly, associations, movement, and residence. In other words, what are various civil freedoms? Freedom of speech and expression, freedom of movement, freedom of residence, freedom of assembly, clear, freedom of associations. So these are also a part of civil rights. And coming to economic rights. Economic rights. So what are the economic rights? First one is right to work. Right to work. Two, right to compensation. Right to compensation. Then right to adequate wages. Right to adequate wages. Then right to leisure and rest. Right to rest and leisure. Then right to social security. Right to social security in case of illness, in case of physical disability, in case of old age. And some other economic rights. So right to form and join trade unions. as right to form and join trade unions. Clear? Then right to adequate standard of livings. So right to adequate standard of livings. So these are various types of economic rights. Economic rights includes right to work, right to compensation, right to adequate wages, right to rest and leisure, right to social security, right to form and join in trade unions, right to adequate standard of livings. Then what are the social rights? As in the last session we studied certain civil rights. Civil rights includes a certain social rights also. Clear? So what are the social rights? Here, right to education. Even though it is a part of civil rights, it is a social in nature. Then right to religion. Religion is a social aspect. Then right to health. Next, right to entertainment. Example, these are the social rights. Then coming to cultural rights. What are the social rights? Social rights include right to education, right to religion, right to health, right to entertainment, and right to family also, because family is the what type of institution? Social institution. Then cultural rights. So cultural rights include respecting the civilization, respecting the arts, respecting the culture, etc. Yes, cultural rights include respecting civilization, arts, culture. Clear? So it is the second classification. So human rights are broadly classified into two categories. One is civil and political rights. Second one is economic, social and cultural rights. Clear? So coming to India. In our Indian constitution, there are some human rights, especially from articles 19 to 28 of the Indian Constitution, which are incorporated under the third part of the Indian Constitution. So deal with the human rights. Clear? From article 19 to 28. Clear? So from 19 to 22 are related to provide freedom and the protection of the freedom of the individuals. As from article 19 to 22 provide the freedom and their protection. Next, from 23 to 24, 23 and 24, both rights provide the liberation to the individuals from certain social evils like bonded labor system, child labor system. From 25 to 28, which are related to freedom of religion. Then in 1923, our Indian Parliament passed an act for protection of the human rights with the name of Human Rights Preservation Act. Human Rights Preservation Act 1993. For which purpose? for protection of human rights by establishment of one national commission. Yes, according to Human Rights Preservation Act 1993, in 1993 central government established National Human Rights Commission with a chairman and 4 members. Today, National Human Rights Commission in India has been putting efforts for protection of the human rights of the Indian citizens. Clear? It is about human rights in India. So with this human rights topic is over. So we will see in the next session. Goodbye.